No, we took that out of the show. That's no longer a segment.
God, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous.
He's cutting that out.
That's right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the, what do we call this? The
Championship week.
championship playoff week for NFL Big Pick 4, the NFL handicapping show, premier internet handicapping show for NFL, where the NFL handicapping gurus, Big Danny D and Big Brian B.
And I'd like to point out
give
that
you-
Dan's drinking tonight, baby. Yeah.
Hey, celebrate good times. Come on. It's celebration. That's right.
That's been gone. He's gonna live in
Parents live in Jersey, right?
yeah, but he's gonna move near Girard Avenue. He's gonna live there with some friends.
Son of a bitch.
He's not like Brian, who says he lives in Philly, but he doesn't really live in Philly.
Nope, that's why Brian's a Giants fan. Look at this. I came up with all of Brian's backup teams that he's gone through this season.
Oh my God.
You see that, Liz?
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Yeah, he's gone through all those teams. Now he's finally on the Ravens.
Yeah, with one game left,
Yeah.
he's finally settled on his love train.
Uh-huh.
Hey, that's comedy.
Hey, they've been good to him in the playoffs so far.
He's got to learn the Lewis dance now.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Let's see that. That's comedy. Let's see the dance.
That guy's a murderer.
I would like to say thank you, Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, for hiring Chip Kelly. Go Birds!
You know, he's...
What does that mean? Go Bart.
Oh, my God.
What is that? The train?
Brian basically peed his pants after that. He was so happy. Yeah, that's why.
Okay, so recapping last week's picks, 3 out of 4 with the big B and big D guarantees coming through, putting the playoff record in the green, I would say, from a betting standpoint, at 5 wins, 3 losses, with the big B at 2-0 and the D at 1-1 and the big O at 1-1. Now,
Oh, you lost last week?
yeah, I picked Green Bay. What happened to Aaron and company there?
Their
Colin
defense
Kaepernick, man.
stinks. How about that? Their defense was awful. Kaepernick did whatever he wanted. He threw for 250 yards. He
yeah,
ran for
180.
183 yards. I mean, it was just
That was
ridiculous.
crazy. Like they were in man coverage, and he would just run, and they all had their backs turned, and no one
And then
even
they played
tackled him.
zone, and then Crabtree and his other guys would take advantage, and he would throw over them. They didn't know what to do. That was an amazing game. And the problem with the Green Bay Packers is that they have to score to win because their defense just stinks. And the 49ers have a good defense, and they're able to stop them. And they're able to continue scoring because the Green Bay defense isn't very good. And they got crushed because of it. They couldn't stop them. They had no answer for the 49er offense at all. They did whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted.
It was like 45-31.
It was 41-24, I think, final score.
Yeah, something
They
like that.
covered easily. And the Green Bay had no answer. The dude, on one play, Clay Matthews just did like a spinorama and gave up. He didn't know what was going on. The guy ran right up behind him. He was totally clueless.
It's that spread option, man.
A little bit, but it's also they stink. They've proven that in the past their defense stinks. Last year, when they went 15-1, their defense was ranked last in the NFL. So they have a lot of defensive
So
problems.
I think the key though for the viewers is that Big Pick 4 is hitting our stride at the right time, right?
Well, hopefully. Well, it's
We're
only
hitting the stride at the right time, right?
There's only 3 games left, so I don't know how much of a stride we have left.
Dude, 5-3, baby.
Wow.
We're winning when it counts, man.
Yeah, well,
This is when people put the real money. This is the big money, baby.
yeah, especially this week in the Super Bowl, people put a big money for those games.
I think one of you, I think it was Brian, that called for a straight-up Baltimore win last
Thank
week.
you. Ray Lewis,
But
he's inspired.
I don't think you predicted it to be in at the last throw of the game that kept them in the game.
Yeah, you know the secondary coach for the Broncos got fired because of that.
Yo, but listen, I also want to give my brother credit too because you did say that they were going to be inspired. I remember.
Yeah, but
'Cause you rubbed it in our faces.
yeah, but I gotta say something here.
they're
though.
inspired, man.
Ray
I'm telling
Lewis
you.
is one of the biggest assholes in the world. He murdered 2 people, and yet somehow he gets off the hook
No,
for
his
everything.
friends did. He was in the room.
No one
It
was,
wasn't
No
him.
one was ever charged other than him for that murder. No one else.
He was in the room.
I understand, but no one else ever was charged with that murder other than him. No one. Once they dropped the charges, they didn't find anyone
Scott,
else.
is this Law and Order? I'm sorry. Excuse me, Scott. Scott O'Hara, producer,
No, I'm
producer
just
show.
destroying
Scott,
one of
Scott,
Brian's
let me,
many
Scott.
heroes.
Scott.
Johnny
Scott.
Cash was a drug addict.
Scott,
Ray Lewis was a murderer.
can we get a
Stone Cold
judgment
Steve
here?
Austin's a drug
Hey,
addict.
Scott, can we get a judgment here? This is not Law and Order. Thank you, Scott. Can we get a judgment here?
But Michael Vick was more vilified than Ray
Yeah.
Lewis.
Which is ridiculous. But, you know. What,
It's ironic.
I just can't stand Ray Lewis. But the Ravens play, that was amazing. That 70-yard pass. They only had, I think they said the probability was only 2.8% that they would win the game at that point. I mean, that was one of the most amazing playoff games.
I can't imagine if you had money on a straight bet, or if you had money on the underdog.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you know,
Like,
watching the Packers fans, they were playing music over the loudspeakers, and they were all dancing and celebrating prematurely. And then you could have heard a pin drop after that they scored a touchdown.
Yeah. But that was amazing.
And I was even thinking, do you go for 2 here? You know, and nope, we just kick the field goal and take our chances.
Yeah, and it worked out. Peyton Manning clammed up once again in the playoffs.
No, but even your cover on the Atlanta game,
That was scary.
that was another situation. You ice the kicker, and he misses, and then he comes back and makes the field goal,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah. That was,
I mean, no one was predicting that either.
no, but it was close. I mean, Atlanta's defense really
But you know,
failed the second half of that
but
game.
didn't I say though? I said this last week. I said, what is the most scary animal? The one that's backed into a corner. The Atlanta Falcons.
A woman.
Sexist, you're a sexist pig, Scott O'Haron. All women out there, Scott O'Haron, he can be reached at 215. He's a douchebag. No, but what I said.
No, that reminds me of what do you do when the dishwasher breaks?
Get another woman?
You beat her.
Oh boy. This show does not endorse violence towards anyone, especially women. If any women are watching, I apologize for the actions of my 2 drunk Irish cohorts here.
That's not my joke. I was just telling.
I see.
So you were saying.
Anyway, it was a good week last week. We did a good job. We got lucky with Atlanta, but it worked out well.
Or you got lucky with Atlanta. You got
Yeah.
no, because Baltimore, you still would have been under the cover, right? So
Yeah, I think so.
they didn't have to win for you to win the
No,
bet.
I think it was like 9, wasn't it? I think 9.
9.5.
Yeah,
Plus 9.5. Yeah.
Because even if the Broncos had won that game in regulation, it would have only been a 7-point game.
Yep. You
That
still
would have
would
worked
have
out
won.
anyway.
That was the Atlanta game. You got lucky on that. I mean, I bailed in the fourth quarter only to come back and say, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah, that was some bad defense, man. Oh man, Russell Wilson just carved them up in that quarter. It was pretty incredible to watch. Matt Ryan saved Mike Smith. If they lose that game, Mike Smith gets fired. I think so, because he would have been 0-4 in the playoffs, and he lost 2 straight home playoff games after a bye week. To me, if I'm the owner, I would have said, "Get out." So he got lucky there.
Well, the other interesting stat that you didn't pick up on before the game is that in games where the temperature is like below 18 degrees or something, Peyton Manning is 0 for 5
I
now
said
or
that
something.
to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
No, I remember. Somebody, I said it to somebody.
Wow.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
playoffs.
cold. It was like 10 degrees there.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. Dan Dumdorf's mustache
No, Carl's.
froze.
I was at Carl's and I said to him, "Oh, they're 0-4, something like that."
Wow, now they're 0-5.
Yeah, 0-4
Yeah,
in the
that was
playoffs.
bad.
Under 40 degrees or something like that, 35 degrees, something like that.
Really?
All right, my I was looking at my video. I thought it was whacking out there for a minute.
Oh, it's pretty good actually. I can actually see the blues of your eyes, or is that the shit stain of your eyes? I'm sorry.
No, I can see what you're talking about. You're moving a little funky there for a minute. Your movements were a little. There was a little pause, but now it's fine.
I was shaking my head back and
Yeah, you
forth.
look like Max Headroom there for a little bit.
Now your focus is blurring up a little bit. All right, let me call you right back, and we'll do Brian's announcement.
All right.
So as always, ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the drunken announcer.
Go ahead.
No, my only announcement is if it goes out to all the ladies, I will be at Lucky 13, owned by Clark, the best bartender in the world.
Run.
12th and Passyunk. I will be there at 9:30.
Run, women, run. Run for your lives.
And then he will be moving on to a drunken brawl at the world famous steak, Philly cheesesteak shack. Once he gets kicked out of Lucky 13,
Maybe he can find his old cell phone there.
he'll be looking for any person not wearing a Flyers jersey to start a fight with.
Oh, God, that was ugly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the first of the 2 guarantee picks, because there's only
Wait a
2
minute.
guarantee
We didn't do
picks
the
this week.
badge of the week.
Badge of the week, dude.
Oh, never mind.
You suck.
That's all right. It's been a long week, I'm sure.
All
All right.
Let's have the badge of the week. The last badge of the week before the Vaggie Award will be presented at the Super
That's
Bowl.
right.
So,
All right. The last person I'm submitting for badge of the week this year is John Fox, the head coach of the Broncos. This jackass threw his secondary coach under the bus and fired him for that debacle at the end of that game when he had several opportunities as head coach to win that game in regulation. He's the one who decided to take a knee with 31 seconds left and 2 timeouts on a Hall of Fame quarterback on the field. It wasn't the secondary coach. He didn't say, oh, okay, let's take a knee now. That wasn't him. But because of that play at the end of the game,
Scapegoat. You need
yes,
Scapegoat.
and because Peyton Manning threw an interception that cost him the game, and he had 2 fumbles which cost him the game, the secondary coach gets fired. That's ridiculous. He took no responsibility for anything that he did in that game. If anything, the defensive coordinator should have been fired because he's the guy who constructed the whole thing that didn't look good. It didn't work. Not just a secondary coach. That's awful. So for that reason, and because of his jackassery and his stupidity, John Fox is the badge of the week.
I would like to say that's an interesting pick.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting. That's a very intellectual pick.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it'd be like if you have a pitching staff that has an ERA of 5, so you fire the hitting coach because you didn't score 10 runs a game to win the game. It just doesn't make any sense. The whole defense was bad. There was no pressure. There was not enough blitzing. The game plan was awful.
Yeah, they scored
He
38
didn't-
points or whatever.
They
to
scored
win.
35 points. He didn't
Yeah, to
blitz
win,
Von
yeah.
Miller enough in that game at all. Yeah, he blamed the secondary coach because John
Yeah.
Fox was too stupid to go for it from their own 35-yard line with 31 seconds left, 2 timeouts. In high altitude,
And
so
one
you
of the
can
best
kick from
quarterbacks
farther.
ever, yeah.
So you can kick for an extra like 5 or 6 yards away,
Yeah.
and you have a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
well, and I was the one too that said watch out for Torrey Smith. He's been quiet for a couple games too,
Yeah.
and he popped out in that game, and it looked like that route. The Torrey Smith actually paused halfway through the route, and I think that's when the free safety went on to start to cover down, and then Torrey took off again, and he just wasn't doing the deeper than the deepest man.
Well, they
was.
also
Yeah,
said
and
the
the
way
safety
they,
was,
but
like,
but they said
so weird.
no. But what they do is they said the way they structure the coverage is that they expect Champ Bailey to take care of his guy. Then they rotate the safeties to the other side of the field to take care of the other people. But once he got beaten once deep, you think they would have changed their game plan a little bit. But Jack Del Rio wasn't smart enough to do that. And I don't.
Yeah,
That's
but
not the
that goes
secondary
to the-
coach's call. That's just he's there just to coach them. He doesn't call the plays.
Right, he doesn't call the
drop the
defensive schemes,
defense.
yeah.
He doesn't tell them what to do. That was stupid.
Yeah, but look at your D-back coach. We knew at halftime that Champ Bailey was getting beat
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
purely all day.
That's-
on
yeah,
the
he
was.
man-
But that's
man.
Jack Del Rio's
not the
responsibility.
secondary coach, yeah.
Secondary coach is there to coach him.
Yeah, he's
He's
not
not there. No. So that was just ridiculous. John Fox is an asshole. And it's uncalled. He's not making a lot of money. He's a guy who's a regular job for reasons. And I just think that's unfair.
I have to say that's a
there
very
you-
interesting badge of the week. The box.
Thank you.
I think you thought outside the box there.
Yeah, I thought because I didn't want some.
Normally you go with like Mark Sanchez or something.
Well, he didn't play this
obvious.
week.
Oh, yay, cute.
It's a cowboy cat.
No, it's a gangster cat. She's got a hoodie on.
Oh, I see.
You really don't want to be walking around Florida with a hoodie on. We've already
Yeah, the mean streets of
found
Tampa.
that out. Yeah. So there, ladies and gentlemen, you have it. The Badgie of the Week. And let's move on to this week's first of two guaranteed picks, Big Danny D.
All right, the big D guarantee this week is San Francisco minus 3.5 at Atlanta. I think it says a lot about this game that San Francisco is a 3.5-point road favorite in this game. It's going to be played indoors, so weather is not going to be a factor at all. Weather shouldn't be a factor in either game, really. But Atlanta barely won last week. They do not have a history of winning in the playoffs at all. They were 0-3 under this current regime before finally winning, so I think they'll play a little bit better this week. But I don't see how they're going to stop the San Francisco offense. Their defense was awful last week against a much more pedestrian Seattle offense. And now they're facing a much more high-powered offense with a better defense. I just think they're in big trouble. I mean, I understand Matt Ryan's 37-4 at home in his career, but last year a couple years in the playoffs, Green Bay went in there and just crushed them. And I think it could happen again. I just don't see how they're going to be able to contain San Francisco completely in this game. And it's a small spread. It's only 3.5. San Francisco win by a touchdown. It's not really that far-fetched here. So I think it's a good play. San Francisco on the road. They have a good running game. They have a good passing game. I don't know how they're going to control Kaepernick. They couldn't control, what's his name? Whatever the hell that guy's name is from Seattle last week.
Yeah, can I add also?
And also, San Francisco has a great defense. They have 6 Pro Bowlers on their defense, so I think they can do a good job against Atlanta, who hasn't run the ball very well at all.
Can I to piggyback off Dan's pick? I just want to make one interesting comment. I think that in the last 4 or 5 weeks, Michael Crabtree's been coming into his own. He's moved into an upper echelon receiver.
Yeah, well, I think because
He really
Kaepernick has been playing.
Yeah, I mean he's made some amazing catches the last couple weeks. Important late.
Atlanta's offense has been awful too in terms of they used to be able to run the ball effectively. They haven't. I mean, I'm not saying they become a running team again, but they need to at least be able to run effectively because that's what hurt the Packers. That's what hurt them this week. There's a lack of a running game. You need to have some sort of running game just to at least keep help you out. And they haven't done very well at all.
And also, it's if you watch all the ESPN and NFL networks, a lot of people are picking San Francisco to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying.
But yeah,
They're a heavy favorite.
Yeah, at this point.
Well, and San Fran is also your pick to win the Super Bowl at the start of the season, right, Dan?
Mine? No, I said San Francisco versus Cincinnati, who was not going to make it. But I said San Francisco would win the Super Bowl.
Did you?
Yes, I did. And you laughed at me.
And you didn't bet on it.
I'm giving you credit.
You didn't take action.
Yeah. I know.
You're kicking yourself now.
No, I mean that's impressive. I think
Yeah.
I still doing this.
Yeah. By the way, folks, these are all the teams Brian went through this year. All of his backup teams.
Except there's only one missing.
After the Eagles blew it, he went with the Steelers,
Scott.
the Giants, the Jets, the Redskins, the Packers. Now he's with the Raven train.
There's only one on there that's missing. Dan's mom is not on the list. I'm sorry.
Well, since
I X'd her out.
Since
not
she's only
on the
one
list.
person, it's tough for her to be a team.
Oh, and you forgot Notre Dame.
Oh, that's right, too. That's another one. He said he liked Notre Dame because his cousin went there. So I gave him a list of 15 other schools where some of my cousins and my sister went.
No, but I've always
so that he
liked
could
Notre
like
Dame.
those schools, too.
No, I've always liked Notre Dame.
Well, I know you've always liked kid touchers,
No, I've always. You
like your own.
No, I liked him. I used to hang out at your house, and I always liked Notre Dame, even when they stunk.
So you
I
like a
liked
school
Notre
that's named Our Lady. That's what it's called. It's Our Lady in French.
Dame. Okay. I like Notre Dame. I'm sure
See,
I'm
like
not
bunch
the
of-
only. I'm sure I'm not the only man in the United States that likes Notre Dame. I'm okay with that. I don't think that's gonna.
Brian
lose
also
man
endorses all
points for that.
priests everywhere.
So there you have it. Your first guarantee being the 49ers. They are, what was the spread again? They're
Yeah,
favored
3.5 point favorite.
by
Road.
3.5, folks. Not a big cover.
No.
So let's have the second and final guarantee for the season prior to the Super Bowl. Big Brian B.
For this week, pick Baltimore. Is it +8?
+8.
Baltimore +8 at New England. And I should have listened to my brother first week. He was right. First week of the playoffs. Baltimore is playing inspired. Ray Lewis, his last playoff, his last season, they're all going to play tough. I'm not calling straight up. I'm saying New England could win, but they're not going to cover 8 points.
It could be like a touchdown game.
Yeah, like 6 points.
Yeah.
It could be like 27-21. But they're going to play tough. Ray Lewis is going to have that team inspired. He's going to have that defense playing tough. And Ray Lewis always plays Tom Brady really, really tough.
Because he'll threaten to kill all of them.
That would be the best scenario where Ray Lewis takes out Tom Brady in the first quarter, headhunts him. Can you imagine that?
Oh, that'd be. I think Belichick would go after himself and kill him.
He'd be like Woody Hayes. He'd go out.
Yeah,
and,
right.
What was that movie?
What? It's not a movie. Woody Hayes choked the guy
Oh,
on the
no,
sideline.
I was talking about what was the movie where somebody got shot in the middle of the game in the 90s?
Last Boy Scout.
Yes, Last Boy Scout. I was thinking of Last Boy
One
Scout.
of
where the guy
Brian's
got
heroes,
shot.
Bruce Willis, I think, was in that movie.
Bruce Willis, baby. No, but I think basically my reasoning is I just think they're playing inspired right now. I think New England's going to win, but I just don't think they're going to cover 8 points. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think Joe Flacco's been coming to his own lately.
Look at
The
last
offense has
year's
been doing-
game. Last year's game was a close
Last year's
game.
game was close. They have no Gronkowski this week, which is a key loss for the Patriots. For all those reasons, I think New England's going to win, but I don't think they're going to win by 8. I think they're going to win by like 4 or 5. I think it's going to be like 27, 23, 27, 21.
27-21, yeah, makes
somewhere in
kinda
that,
sense
yeah.
to me.
I
30-24.
and
Well, and I think people are downplaying Gronkowski too.
Yeah.
I think that's
Well,
the
you know what?
and
They
also-
bigger issue.
played most of the last 10 weeks without him, so I don't really think that's a big deal as it was maybe a few weeks ago.
and also I just want to remind the audience members that follow millions that religiously follow the show.
Maybe someday.
None of the millions that follow the show, that the last 2 weeks I have rode and Scott play the money the train, the love train, baby.
That's right.
I've rode the Ravens, baby.
That's right. That's right. We went with him this week.
2-0, baby. 2-0.
That's right.
I rode them.
So you're saying they are your love train for the playoffs?
Yes.
Okay.
Good timing there, Scott. Way to go, producer.
See, this is why we should have.
You want to crown them? Then crown their ass.
That's right.
Not even.
You know, I think we should start having Wednesday production.
Hey, that's still relevant. You want to crown their ass?
Yeah. Sounds like it did some farting there when it was playing.
I mean, that's still relevant. Crown their ass, right?
No, I think Love Train was what I was looking for.
Yeah, I
right?
think Love Train
I
was
think
better
you agree with
there.
me that
Yeah.
we're looking for Love Train.
Yeah.
I did play Love Train. You didn't hear it?
10 minutes after it's like 10 minutes.
See, as
I
I
don't know,
said,
I
this
don't
is why we
have
should have a
I don't have my
pre-show
good
production
soundboard.
meeting. We can go through all these
Yes.
spots,
Yes.
you know?
And
The sound
no,
is just-
no cats.
Giving me a hard
we
time
lost you
today.
again.
Uh,
Oh, you're back.
The sound, yeah, the sound is screwed up.
back.
Eh,
My music board is screwed up.
that's all right. You can always put it in later, I guess.
Yeah, you can edit it.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me
yeah,
now?
Yep, you're good.
Well, no, it's in there, but then the second time I went to play it, it screwed up again.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, we're still recording, so we're good. All right, all right. No, wait. Let me shut that down. Let me shut that down. Hang on. 'Cause we can't see you now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Your picks for the championship playoff week NFL, pick your 49ers, pick your Ravens, maybe not to win, but at least to cover on the underdog. I want the big D, the big B, just, I want him to call it. I don't know what the weather's going to be in Foxborough, but
It'll be good. They'll be all right.
just give us a pick 'em, Big B. What's the pick 'em if it's just a pick 'em? Who are you picking?
The picker will taking the Patriots.
So he's still picking the
But
Patriots.
I'm
So
saying they're not going to cover, though.
Belichick at home. I mean, that team averages 36 points a game at home. So
it's not quite the love train we thought.
But-
no, but the last time
We rode them.
they played a 1-point game earlier this year with Baltimore winning because the officials screwed up, and then last year in the game it came down to a field goal. The guy missed the field goal at the end of the game to tie the game. So New England could win, but it could be a close game, like 21-21, 27-21, 30-24, that kind of thing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, a word from this week's Big Pick 4 sponsor.
Disculpen. Pero tengo clase de ballet.
I'm working so hard. I'm watching my car. Later, forward. Oh, tell me what I got. I'll do the sweeter. Oh, real song terror this time. Now I gotta cut loose, put loose. Get off the sunglass shoes. Please, Louise. Hurry up with my leave. Jack, Cadillac, come on.
All right, so we're back for the second half of Big Pick 4 Division Championship playoffs. And we already, the D picks were the guarantees, so we will just move right on to the man violation, Big B.
I would like to preface my man violation for this week. Me and Dan discussed it earlier. It may be a repeat. Or I might have to consult the producer. Scott, did I use fur coats?
Yes.
I've done fur coats.
Yeah, because
What's the protocol?
I don't know. See, this
It was
week,
his sister's idea.
my
but
sister
it was,
told me a story about this guy who came. She works at a methadone clinic. One of her clients came in, and this guy was wearing a mangy fur coat of some
I like
kind.
the idea. I just didn't realize it was.
I don't know
used
what it exactly it looked like, but she said it was just really gross. And that reminded me that, I think it's a violation for men to wear fur coats in public. I mean, certain black guys can get away with it, but
No, I agree.
it's like someone like me. If I was wearing a fur coat in the street, I should get my ass kicked.
So what's the protocol with the show if we repeat it? Does it make it an extra man violation?
Maybe it's a
Does he get,
violation,
like,
the
3
repeat
stars?
violations or something.
Does that make it like a 3-star violation?
Yeah, maybe.
Like
Well,
a
actually, no,
general?
it's not even just wearing a fur coat, but wearing a dirty one. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know, but that's my man violation. It might have been repeated, but
Yeah.
still pretty.
That's Brian's homework assignment for this summer is to think of better man violations and write them down.
No. There's a lot of.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Potential to go 2-0, which will bring the playoff, the playoff win-loss to 7-3 potentially on a 2-0, which would be a big money-making Big Pick 4 playoff season. So you're going to pick your 49ers and your underdog Ravens. Wait, is it 2 away teams
Yes,
you're picking?
2 away teams.
2 road teams. Atlanta traveling east to west against the time zones. Now, is that the early game or the late
It's
game?
the early game, but it's at 3. So it's not like it's 1.
Okay.
So it's more regular time for them to play.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be a problem.
So East Coast time, that would be about noon.
yeah, which is more around the normal time they play.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so if you had like a 1 o'clock game, you're only pushing it by an
yeah,
hour.
so I don't think that's a big deal in this instance.
Yeah, they can overcome that.
Yeah.
It's not like they played on Thursday night or anything.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Well, no, it wouldn't be Thursday
Well,
night, but
in
Monday.
Brian's world, they could, because Thursday and Sunday were the same week.
Oh, that's right. That's the same week. I forgot for the Big B.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's
you have to go
right.
back. Like, Dan has a memory of a woman, dude. Seriously, like, let it go. It's in the past, all right? It's in the past, man. Let it go. Dan, your life will be
So,
much
ladies
more
and gentlemen,
fulfilling.
what you want to do is go out and buy a legit looking fireman's hat and get one of those fireman boots and put on some suspenders. You go down, you stand on a street corner, collect money for you know, for half the day. On Saturday, you got enough to place your bets on the 49ers and the Ravens. And if anyone calls you on it, you say, "What? You thought I was a fireman? I never said I was a fireman. I was
We do
just."
not endorse this, by the way. I do not endorse this.
See, that's the best thing is if a real fireman pulls up or the cops pull up, he's like, "What are you talking about? This is just the way I decided to collect money. I wasn't telling anyone I was representing a particular fire department. I had no idea they thought I was a real fireman." So take your collection, and as always, go out and
Score
with
with
Big
Big
Pick
4.
4. And happy birthday to my sister.
Happy birthday.
happy birthday. What's your sister's name?
Yeah.
What's your sister's name?
Julia. She's going to be 31.
Happy birthday, Julia. So we got how many weeks off before the Super
1
Bowl?
week.
2 weeks.